Jagger, I've got them moves like Jagger. I've got them moves like Jagger. I don't need to try to control you. Look into my eyes and I'll own you with them moves.
Hi everybody, it's Mike Newman. It's Monday morning finish line. What is the date today? Yesterday was the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. September 24th. How was everybody's weekend? I'm digging this weather. And at the beginning of the beginning song, moves like Jagger. Well, Molly FitzPatrick and Josh Methner put in some good moves at Palatine on Saturday. We'll get into that in a little bit. So, what a great Sunday. 3 great things. Bears win. Ugly game, but their defense showed up again. Cubs won. And it's gimme. I mean, 2 out of 3 for the Cubs over the Sox. Magic number goes down a little bit more over those stinking Brewers. And it was Hawk Harrelson's last announcing game. I liked him when I was younger because, that bias, that hometown bias and all that, but at the end, it was getting a little bit nasty there, but liked what he did, showed the bias. You can put him on the board, yes. So at the end of an era, all of the announcers, except for Pat Foley, but Pat Foley was when I was in college, I think, something like that. So speaking of bias, no, no, we're not going there. A lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about Palatine, obviously. We're going to talk about Culver. We're going to talk about Centerville. And then we'll get into some other meets, too. I'm going to wing this. No notes. I'm on a tight rope. And I left the phone in the other room. It's been going off all day, so it's just you and me time. All right. So let's get started. Let's get started with Palatine. I was going to show you end of race videos for the varsity races, but they're kind of boring. I mean, let's start with Molly FitzPatrick of Barrington. Wow. And she really moved the second half of the race. Why don't we do this? Let's show the interview that we had with Molly right after the race. So, I mean, you had a pack together at 1 mile. What's going through your head at that point?
At that point, I was kind of hoping, when I saw the mile, I think it was like 5:35. I was kind of thinking like I could go a little bit faster than that. So my plan going into the race was just kind of stay with the pack for 1.5 miles and then maybe take off and see what I got. But I went a little earlier than I planned.
I was going to say, going into trails and all of that. What kind of confidence did you get from the Peoria race 2 weeks ago coming into today?
That was crazy. I mean, like I said, end goal for the season was to run in sub 17, and to hit that.
So you've done it twice now.
Yes, to hit that first meet of the season, that gave me a lot of confidence coming in, and then to do it again here on this course is kind of crazy.
The one thing you got out of the Peoria race was what?
I think just confidence. I went in there and throughout the race I was like, oh my gosh, I'm staying with all these people from like Naperville North and Yorkville, and then I was like, whoa, I can actually go, and I did, and so that was kind of crazy. Did you put those other runners on a pedestal? Yeah, I definitely looked up to them before, and then to be able to stay with them and then, beat them in the end was crazy.
Now you've got the bullseye on your back. Did you feel that coming into this race that you were the favorite?
No, not really. I mean, I kind of just like to control the controllables and just think about myself and my team during the race, which we were awesome today. We got second, I think. Yeah, your team looked really good. Coming down the straightaway, did you see the clock before you came in, or? Not really. I kind of saw it was in the 16, so I was like, oh, I'm going to try to get under 17, and that worked. So, I saw it a little bit.
Yeah, anytime you run under 17:15 on this course, that's something to talk about. Running under 17, missing the course record by 2 seconds. That's saying a lot. What's next for you? You've got divisional meet, go up against Anne Marie again on Tuesday. What's after that?
I think we have the next weekend off, and then we're at Wheeling before the conference.
Before the conference and everything else. You got plenty of time to train. End of September, but you're looking really good.
Yes.
Great job today,
Thank
Molly.
you so much.
Congratulations. So she said she went out 5:35. I sensed that she needed to go faster. She was 10 seconds ahead of the 1 3/4 where I was at. And then she wins by, what, 32 seconds? So 16:52. Kaylee Flanagan ran 16:51.7 in 2011, 2012, something like that. So that record has, it's taken some hits. It's gotten close to it, but that was the closest. And I think Molly, if we get weather like that the next 2 years, is going to grab that record eventually. But a few reporters, Mike Eakin of the Daily Herald, Bill Stone of the Daily Herald, or the Tribune, or I can't remember where Bill's at. But we're talking about Molly, where she's taken a step on her own. Last year, she was in the shadows of Jocelyn Long. This year, it's all Molly. I can't understand why she wasn't put even in the honorable mention for the DISTAT individual rankings last week. Alex Morris comes on strong at the end of the year, we know that. And she was an All-American last year, but I mean, Molly beat her by 20 seconds at first to the finish, so why not put Molly on there? I don't know. I don't do that. I don't do any of those rankings. I have my own rankings, but I don't do individual rankings. Any case, so team-wise, watch the beginning of this race. Watch this. So you see right at the end, as all the runners are coming past, you see Kate Dickman of Lyons Township. She's almost like dead last, and she finishes third. Now, I used to run, when I could run, trust me, I would drive Mr. Newton crazy, go out like 68, 69 seconds for the first quarter. What the heck are you doing? You're dead last. But by the mile, I was towards the leaders. And then I just started to move from there. The same thing with Kate, and the same thing with Lyons Township. Lyons Township kept moving during that race. They started out slow, and I think by the mile, Dickman was about 20th place. She was about 7th or 8th when she passed by me at 1 3/4, and she gets 3rd. But Lyons Township, and think about this too. They have Sarah Barcelona back, 4th runner for them, 29th place. But they have a nice pack. And if Emily Henkel comes, and she was their number 1, number 2 runner, towards the end of the year, she's had some injury problems and she isn't back. But if she comes back, that makes that pack even stronger. So no speculations on that. Barrington, what can we say about Barrington girls team? They look great. I mean, they're really improving. Same thing with Palatine. Anne-Marie Jordan getting 2nd in that race. Just great runs by Barrington Palatine. Slowly improving. Palatine started 15th. Barrington was right at the beginning, but I think Alyssa Norris had a top 10 finisher at Barrington. The Lekowitz twins moved up a little bit more this week. Vernon Hills, I think they tied Oswego. And Oswego, I talked to Redman, Eric Simon, afterwards. First time in the history of their school that they've had 3 runners under 18 minutes for 3 miles in a girls in a race. But the 4th and 5th, I mean, you were looking for them for a while. So, but Vernon Hills, I love watching their pack because they just move together. They work together. That's how you're supposed to. That's how you win cross country meets. And Paul Vanderstein knows that. With nice pack running. Same thing with Lyons Township. We'll get to that. Any case, on the boys' side, they went by me right before the mile. They said they went by the mile in 4:50, and Methner took off. But did he take off? I mean, he ran 4:50, 9:40, and then 14:32. Here's the interview that we did with Josh after the race. Last week the heat played a factor in the tactics.
Yeah.
It was perfect today.
Yeah, today was great conditions. It was like low 60s, I think, so it was really good.
You said you went out 450. How are you feeling at the mile?
I felt pretty good at the mile, and I didn't really have a set race plan, so I felt good from there, so I picked it up.
You made a massive move. Were you just feeling out the other runners when you first made your move, thinking, okay, who's going to go with me? I think Kern went with you, Brady went with you, and that was it.
Yeah, based on what my coach was kind of telling me where everyone was, I just kind of made my moves based on that, kind of. Yeah.
How much do you use your coaches to for your strategy and all of that? Do you listen to the fans? I know you listen to your coaches. Do you base your pickups from them, or?
Yeah, they just if I want to when I'm going for the win like this, it was kind of I could tell coach was telling me how far they were behind me, so based on that, and then they're telling me how far my teammates were from me, and as a team race too.
So 450, 940, coming into that final loop. Were you taking peeks back to see where people were, or just? I mean, you looked so strong coming in.
I only did once at that hairpin turn, close to the finish. That was the only time.
Did you expect a time like this today?
Yeah, based on the workouts this week and how I was feeling throughout the week, I knew I could go pretty fast.
What was one of the workouts that you did that you kind of had an idea that you were ready for this today?
We did a little bit of a fartlek on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Team champion too.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot. You ran so much better this week. Talk a little bit about your teammates.
My coach told me at about, I'd say a little less than a mile to go going in the woods, he told me that we had about 4 in the top 20, and I just had to keep my position if we wanted to just show ourselves that we're good today. So, and he kept telling me throughout the beginning of the race too that we had our guys close to each other.
To win this meet like that against some great teams, that's saying a lot. What's next? You have the divisional championships on Tuesday, right?
Yeah, we have that meet Tuesday, and then the wheeling invite.
So you have a little time off after that.
Yeah.
A little more workouts before we get into the state series.
Yeah, exactly.
What does it feel like? Do you think about, I'm one of the guys that people have to beat this year for the state championship. Do you like that position?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine being at the thought of as one of the top guys or just under the radar. It doesn't really matter.
Well, another great race by you. We'll see you during the state series. Great job today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like I said, 450, 940, and then 1432 by himself, winning by 10 seconds and breaking Jack Trigg's course record. He's a junior too, and that, I mean, he's really nonchalant. He's about the team. And Hersey, boy, let's talk about Hersey for a second. That was their best race of the year so far. They've run 3 team races, and they've gotten improvedly better. I looked at the splits at first. I looked at the results as soon as the race was over. I'm like, oh, they had a 70-second split. The week before they had a 74-second split. But then you have Methner, and you have that gap, and then you have a 30-second split between 2 and 5, and that is pretty darn good. Now maybe moving the pack a little bit closer to Methner, we'll see. Getting that split under 60 seconds. They got plenty of time to do that. They're not going to race again until Wheeling, and then they go into MSL, so it'll be interesting. Oswego East, they kind of, they ran good. They got 4th place. You had St. Xavier getting 2nd. You had St. Louis University getting 4th. St. Louis, talking to the coaches from St. Louis University after the meet was over, and they were happy. I mean, they ran a better team race. Started moving up. They're the favorites in Missouri right now. But Oswego East, I think maybe they went out a little too fast. Luke Wentz was lead at the mile, and then he kind of started fading during the last half of the race. Downers Grove South, wow. They, talking to Eddie Sueda after the race, they said, we had a terrible race at Palatine, first to the finish, and we took a run up the hills at Detweiler, and we left all that bad karma, left it up there, left it up in the hills of Detweiler, and that was sad. They ran better. And they didn't have Weigel in the lineup. I don't know if that would have, I think it might have moved them up place-wise. If you put Weigel in there, maybe they're fourth, maybe they're third. Mundelein had an off race. Barrington, wow. They've only run 2 races, but they're improving. Do they put a little pressure on Hersey at conference? Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. What else? York. York got 11th. So you're going to drop them in the rankings, Mike? You're York bias there? I don't know where they're going to be. But they took the first 4 places in the sophomore race. And you put those guys in there and they get second or third in the meet. That's hypothetical, but that's the potential of their team. So we'll see. I know Hedman's already going, well, drop us in the rankings, drop us in the rankings. Rankings don't matter until the end of October, beginning of November, after the state meet. So it's fun to look at the rankings and speculate and see things and have parents emailing you going, my son's team needs to be up there further. Never Faja. Okay. Any case. But it was a good meet. Tommy Brady was a little bit discouraged after the race. He was 10 seconds back. Didn't expect a move by Methner, so he's coming back next week in Peoria. That should be kind of interesting. I think that's about it. Right, nice little hat here. Great T-shirt. If you didn't get a T-shirt at Palatine, Sewell, out of luck. But they always come up with great T-shirts, great designs for the hats and all of that, and their hospitality is tremendous. I can't provide the coverage that they had, and it's fun too. You know me, I'm the distance guru of the state. Somebody told me that the other day. Maybe. But I love getting there. I love watching the younger races. We had one. I'm not going to show the video. I told Fred Miller I wasn't going to show the video, but there was one video. I'll go back and watch a freshman race. And about the halfway point where the leader didn't know where he was going, there were a lot of runners that didn't know where they were going on that curve. Coming around and then going back out into the course. But this one kid was like, I don't know what to do. And he went around the tree the other way. But those things, you get to see those things, and you remember when you were a freshman, and you remember, did I do anything silly like that? So you miss all that excitement if you just show up right before the varsity races, and you miss all the fun stuff. And if you're getting there late for the varsity races, you just don't get it. You just don't get what cross country is all about. It's not about you, it's about the kids. So, any case, Culver Invitational, Indiana, LT, wow, 20-second split on 5. Man, they look good. And to beat Neuqua Valley looks better. And they ran 32-second split at Peoria, and then they ran 36 seconds on a Hillier course, a 5K course. But Michael Mattiol has stepped up. I hope I'm saying your name right, Mike. Top runner, one of the top runners for Neuqua Valley, #1 runner. And I don't know, you put the sophomores in there, I think their pack becomes a little bit tighter, and I think I said that last week. Hate repeating myself, but that's the way it is. So Neuqua and Lyons Township making Illinois look good in Indiana. Wheaton Warrenville South at Centerville Twilight meets, and I've talked to Wheaton Warrenville South coach Rob Harvey. I was going to say Paul Harvey. Paul, that's the way the news is. I'm Paul Harvey. Good day. No, wouldn't it be funny if Harvey called and like, hey, how are you doing? No, no sleep. Wheaton Warrenville South got 4th in the at Centerville behind Beaver Creek. Beaver Creek upset Centerville. Beaver Creek coach was saying afterwards, so I heard, yeah, we're gonna make it to NXN. Relax, Skippy. It's September. you ran a great race. Improve on that. They're fifth runners. Beaver Creek has 4 runners up there. They have Taylor Ewert and all that, but the fifth runner is those 4 runners up front. That makes them strong. But at NXR against teams like Wheaton Warrenville South will improve. And you have Lyons Township, and you have Glenbard West, you have Minooka, you have Naperville North, Yorkville, Downers Grove South, all that have good packs. I haven't raced those teams yet. But Wheaton Warrenville South didn't get out good. They were 7th at the mile, they moved up to 4th at 2 miles, and then they maintained the position. Coach Harvey said, it's the same race that we ran a week ago at Peoria. 7 individual races. So, they have time to learn. I mean, that's why you run these races in September. You learn different strategies. It's good. Sometimes in a race, you're not going to win every time, but it's good to fail to see what you did wrong and to make sure you don't do it the next time you race. Unfortunately, Wheaton Warrenville South basically did the same thing. So. There'll be a twilight in a few weeks. And we'll see what happens with them. Sam Poglish, 6th place, against a pretty good field, against some good Ohio runners. But she led the Lady Tigers. Where else? Hinsdale Central, I'm sorry. 2nd at the Midwest Invitational in Wisconsin. 8 points behind Sun Prairie, Wisconsin, who's considered the top team in the state, and Hinsdale Central's ranked 11th or 12th right now. They're only 8 points behind. It shows how tough Illinois girls distance running is. So, some of the other meets. Springfield. Andrew O'Keefe tied for the 9th fastest time ever at Lincoln Park, and they've been running cross country there for a long time. If you've never seen that course, that is a rugged course. So to run, I think Troy Maddox, 1985, ran 14:41. So to run close to 15 minutes, Jimmy Files, who was state champion when I was a senior, ran 14:18 at state. He ran about 55, 56. He ran under 15 minutes there. So if you're close to 15 minutes or running under 15 minutes, you're really running fast on that thing. So Andrew O'Keefe wins it in 15:04, won by 25 seconds. Chatham Glenwood's pack, wow. Graham Turk gets up with the Maton boys. Drew, Dathan and Dre. Long weekend. And so they had a 2-second split between the first three. Cooper Peterson, maybe still recovering, and a little bit farther back. And their split, I still think, was like about 80 seconds. But when you have 3 guys up there, you could have 4 guys in the top 15 at state like that. And keeping a 70-second split like that will win it for you. Danville is running better. They got 2nd, Springfield 3rd. On the girls' side, Caroline Chiquino, Pleasant Plains wins the race pretty easily. But Belleville East, wow. The Lancers, wow. They win that title over a pretty good Chatham Glenwood team, a 2A team. So, that was interesting. Let's go up. We're going to drive up north. We're going to turn on 155, and we're going to stop at East Peoria. East Peoria, Eureka looks really good. Now the question is, I mean, Argo wins the race. I think they had 2 in the top 10 again, and their split was pretty good. Do they become the number 1 team in the state right now in 1A? They're running that good. We'll find out on Tuesday, won't we? But they look great. And Argo won the individual race. I think Fran Hendrickson was 2nd or 3rd in that race. So we're going to skip over on 74, and we're going to stop at St. Joseph Ogden. St. Joe Ogden Classic run in the streets of St. Joe Ogden. And hey, Alyssa McPike of Monticello. Let me tell you something about her. I think her personal best for 3 miles on a cross-country course was when she was a sophomore, like about 18:30, 18:35, something like that. Last week at Detweiler, a little bit warmer, she runs 19 minutes. She gets to this meet this weekend. I look at the results, I'm like, she ran 17:46 or something, 17:36 or something ridiculous like that, running a PR by almost a minute. Can't wait to see her race at Amboy in a few weeks on Columbus Day. But what a great race. Tolono Unity, the Caroline Batchert was third in the race, and then Tolono Unity had a nice pack behind them. St. Joe Ogden had the pack, but it was behind Tolono Unity's. So, nice, interesting to see. 60 points, I want to say, something like that. On the boys' side, Garrett Dixon of Monticello. I'd say right now it's going to come down to Dixon. This isn't Noomstradamus here, but I would say Dixon and Negus Bogard of Robinson have been the teams, the runners in 1A that have impressed me the most so far. And Dixon runs 14:40, wins by 30 seconds. And there was a pack of about 4 or 5 runners close together, between 10 and 20, 10 and 25, something like that. And boy, I'm talking a lot here. So, Monticello, great pack. They win it. They won it by 10 points over El Paso Gridley. Drive up a little bit north to Herscher. Clinton Central, number 1 team in 1A, wins convincingly, and I'm burping. And at Herscher, on the girls' side, Herscher won the individual title there. Where else? Bartlett. And that'll be the last one. And then I need to sign off. I don't want to go an hour and a half. Katrina Schlenker. Now, my daughter ran on that course, and it's a run. I mean, you start out, it's a flat shot. You go around the little lake there, and then there's some hilly portions. You go over those hills twice, and those they drain you, especially the second time you're making the loop of that course. But for Katrina Schlenker to run 17:04 and winning by 35 seconds, that's saying a lot. Nice little tune-up. I think Batavia runs. I don't know if they're going to run their top 7 at St. Charles North because they're running at Twilight too. Everybody's running at Naperville Twilight. But that impressed me. Jared Crease of Lincoln Way Central in the boys' side, 15:09, winning by about 30 seconds. Geez, he's he gets overshadowed. Guys like the junior class is pretty good with him and Methner and Ethan Kern. Ethan Kern got 3rd in the at Palatine. So interesting junior class. And Crease, he's been overshadowed maybe a little bit by Tyler Cushing. What Cushing did on the track. Crease, he's getting to that point where he's ready to open the door and do some spectacular things. We'll just have to wait and see when that happens. Okay, I think that's it. There are a ton of meets. I wrote a recap, weekend highlights. Check it out on ilxctf.com, and you'll see what I was trying to say here. What do we have this weekend? This is like the weekend. This is the prelude to Naperville Twilight, because I can't wait to get to Naperville North. I'm going to get there at 1 o'clock. I'm going to have lunch in the caf. No, I'm not going to have lunch in the cafeteria in Naperville North. I never had lunch in the cafeteria when I was at York. 4 years I went home for lunch. That's what kind of nerd I was, and still am. And Twilight, we're going to talk about Twilight next Monday. But you have Lockport, which is with all these teams running at Naperville, taking a little bit of the shine out of that, but you got to run at Delwood one time. I love those hills. That's a great cross country course. So you have Delwood, you have the Peoria Invite. The girls' side, 1A, 2A girls, not too bad. 3A girls, you know, we'll see we'll see the top ranked teams at twilight. But on the boys' side, 1A, 2A race, I think we see Freeburg there. We get to see number 1 Chatham Glenwood. We get to see number 2 Bloomington. That should be fun. Bloomington looked pretty good in winning at East Peoria this week. Nice little tune-up for this weekend at Detwild. And then the 3A side, we get to see Brady back on the course. Naperville Central, I think, is scheduled to be there. Chagall, Sandburg there. York there. Do they run their sophomores up on varsity? You're going to have to wait and see until the preview on Friday. I do know. I think a lot of people know already, too. And then we just keep going and going. Andrew O'Keefe, Granite City, runs great at Springfield. Let's see what he runs this weekend at the Det. So some great races coming up at Peoria this weekend. If you're in the area, check it out. Metamora is going to be there. Do we see Adam Gilbreth Glob in the 1A, 2A race? He hasn't raced this year. Maybe we see him. Adam, get off your butt, get on the starting line. Okay. So a lot of other things. Lockport. We have the Loyola Lakefront Invitational. If you're in the Chicago area, go check that out. We have Niles West. We have the Wheaton North Falcon Classic, girls only meet. Being prejudiced, girls only meet. I'm kidding. But then we have a lot of other things. I mean, there's a lot of great meets coming up this weekend. Check Friday and ilxctf.com. Roadmap to the weekend. We'll show you where the teams are going. And we'll have a preview for the Peoria Invitational coming up this weekend too. So, I don't know. I'm going to stop there because I'm getting tired. When I get tired, I get really sarcastic. So I could be talking about Mom and I could be talking about Mini-Me, but we're not going to do that today. So, any case, have a great week. I went for a walk early this morning, to wake myself up at 4:30 before I started working, and it was tremendous. It was beautiful, as they used to say in the old days. It was a great sleeping weather. Whatever. Okay, so a lot of great things coming up this week. Enjoy the moments. Enjoy your teammates. Enjoy hydrating and whatever. So until. Oh my gosh, I went too long. I went 30 minutes. Oh no. One more thing. We had a nice comment during one of the races from Palatine coach Chris Quick.
The best reporter in all of Illinois, right here.
Kind of cool thing. I don't know. It's a good thing. Maybe it wasn't about me. Yeah, right. Okay, so until the next time we talk, have a great week. I'll see you in a cross-country course somewhere, but this is Mike Newman for Monday Morning Finish Line. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.